Boy, the world of public transportation is scary. There are specific rules and unwritten laws that I need to know. You're absolutely right, and I'm here to take you through those. Today we'll be focusing on the train. Chicago is known worldwide for its elevated public train system, or L trains. Around since 1892 and run by the Chicago Transit Authority since 1947, there are official and unofficial rules of riding the rails.
Helpful hints, I would advise you to take those to your heart. And that's our main story of the night. What do you get when you add beer, sausage, a wall, a history of effective engineering, and then take away the wall? Germany. Germany is a fascinating country right now. We should all wake up every single morning thinking, I wonder what Germany did while I was asleep, and go to bed every night thinking, I wonder what Germany's going to do while I'm asleep. So why is Germany so interesting to watch right now? Well, it's largely due to this lady, German Chancellor Angela Merkel. Angela Merkel is the 18th modern German chancellor, the first ever female chancellor, and Time's 2015 Person of the Year. As you probably remember, she beat Donald Trump for the cover, who was not happy about that, so did what any mature adult would do, complained on Twitter. That puts the chancellor in an exclusive club of things that have been condemned by Mr. Trump on Twitter, including Megyn Kelly, the Pope, Cher, all of Mexico, the media, hotels, Kenyans, cancer, the Clintons, the Chinese, climate change scientists, Ariana Huffington's appearance, losers, vaccines, and my personal favorite, Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson's relationship in detail. But not the former Grand Wizard of the KKK, David Duke. It's a very exclusive club. There's no doubt that Angela Merkel is changing Germany, but what does that mean exactly? Well, for one thing, money. Economically speaking, Germany is the most powerful country in the Eurozone. But before we get even into that, here's a fun fact. Germany finished paying off their war reparations in 2010 for World War I and World War II. Well, there are some outstanding lawsuits that say that Germany still owes some World War II debt. So if you're a person who doesn't think a movie is over till the credits are done, World War II still rages on. Go Allies! A quick rundown. Germany famously bailed out Greece for the third time in 2015, like how I bailed out my cousin Mitch. Except for in this scenario, instead of me assuring the officers that Mitch will definitely stop growing weed this time and please just let him go home, Germany paid 86 billion euros or 95 billion US dollars, which is insane. If your friend asks, hey, could I borrow $15 to buy a pizza? You say, no, Leslie, get a job and eat healthier. You say that on the first time. Now assume that Leslie says, hey, could I borrow $95 billion for a lot of pizza? You say, what weed are you smoking? Did you get it from my cousin Mitch? And is there any left? After school snacks at your friend Michelle's house are chocolate-covered marshmallows and fruit roll-ups, and snacks at your house are celery. Why would you ever go home? Even if Michelle's parents are Islamophobic, celery is stupid. Plus, go home when all this is over. Yeah, that usually blows over well. Oh, and by the way, conservatives in the German government are threatening to impeach Merkel if she doesn't change the country's policy. The next German election isn't until 2017, and as it stands now, there's no way she gets reelected, even if she makes it that far. So Merkel has put her entire political legacy on this issue, on tolerance, on acceptance, and on empathy, which are not exactly the adjectives one would use to describe Germany's past. Which brings us to point number 3. It's Germany. You know, Germany, the country that fucked the entire world in the 20th century twice recently. Like, you can walk down the streets in Berlin and see an old guy and be like, what were you doing in 1945? Back in those days, they promoted unity, like how they are now consistently in defense of the EU. Strength, like how they are now sitting on top of the EU, to the point where if Germany collapses, so will the countries below it. Purity, like the way they don't want foreigners in their country. Germany has all this power and has to convince the world that they won't abuse it for the third time. Like my cousin Mitch asking to borrow my car. He might not crash it, but he has invaded Poland with it 2 times before. Being a leader of Germany, you can't avoid being casually compared to Hitler all the time. Some of her, as we say in the biz, haters go so far as to accuse Angela Merkel of being Hitler's daughter. She's not Hitler's daughter. Stop it. She's a true citizen of the world, preaching exactly the opposite of what Hitler did. But through her work, intolerance and resistance has grown. While her politics may mean well, German citizens' responses have been, well, mean. We see how anger can influence political leaders in our country. Just look at the Republican frontrunner of our own country. Without a permit, thanks to a bill signed by Governor Butch Otter. Yeah, that's Governor Butch Otter, who decided to sign the bill after a long conversation with his sidekick, the Sundance Beaver. Australian actor and real-life badass Hugh Jackman reportedly rescued his 2 children and several other swimmers from a riptide at sea yesterday. The rescue was caught on video and has already gotten better reviews than Batman vs. Superman. This week, North Carolina passed a law to prevent anti-discrimination laws from being passed, so discriminatory laws like banning transgender people from using the bathroom of the gender they identify with are now set in cement. Congrats, North Carolina. You've cemented more hate and bigotry than the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Part of the human myth since the dawn of time, and it's not based on kids' books with over-muscled men and underdressed women beating up caricatures of racist Japanese people.
Well, that was just during World War II, okay?
It's a big time in America.
You can't tell me that Jar Jar Binks isn't racist as shit!
Racist against which race is he racist?
The human race!
What?
Humanity!
That's not true at all! That's so edgy, you're going after the prequels. You know, they weren't that bad. Do you know what was pretty cool?
If you say pod race, I swear to God, I'll smack you in the face. Okay, it takes a bad movie to make Liam Neeson lame as shit.
So hip and cool, huh? You know, these things are made to enjoy. Just take a break from being so goddamn clever and sit back and watch a movie. I bet you're one of those people who hates the Ghostbusters reboot.
You know, actually, I think it's been given an unfair shot, and I was a little underwhelmed by the trailer, but I'm really willing to give it a fair try.
Delegates, anything? Okay.
We just need to wait and see. The people are really attached to the original, but I can't help to feel the reaction be differently if men were starring.
You know, I really think it's just, it's awful.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
And you know, and I think those people are so funny.
It's great cast, it's great creative.
So what our message here?
The thing
America.
We've definitely come to tell you is that
if you don't like the new Ghostbusters, you're
You're
sexist.
sexist.
Yeah, you're a sexist.
Yeah!
I've seen a lot of people on social media lately saying they'll move to Canada if Trump is elected. I figured this would be a great time to put my hard-earned knowledge of international travel to use. Hi, I'm Britt, and I'm here to walk you through the 9 things you'll need to know before moving to Canada this November.